G'day legends, it's Ayden and James here from Twin Elements, and we're in store at Adventures HQ in Springwood, Brisbane. And today we're going to be running through what's in our backpack ahead of the Rut and Roar, which is coming up this March and April.
So what we're looking for in a day pack is something with a solid load frame. So if you are successful after shooting an animal, you want to be able to retrieve all that meat. So making sure you've got a secure frame is the first thing that we look for. The next thing is you want to have a nice thick belt here. So that's going to fit snug on your waist and help when you're having that heavy pack out or just carrying all the gear that we carry in a day.
The next thing we're looking for are plenty of options for hiding away all the gear. So lots of zips, little compartments, side pockets that we can fit either water and hydration, as well as tripods and things like that we're going to be using for filming or even looking through a spotting scope.
Let's dive into what we actually have in our pack. So in this top pocket here, a few little components. So one of the most important bits of kit is a really reliable head torch. So we use lead lenser. Battery life is incredible, and also it's got really durable options in the sense that you can sort of focus it and almost use it as a spotlight or see quite far, but you can also use it for just blood trailing close and also dim it down to just a camp light sort of thing. Another thing that's helped me so many times when I've been out in the bush is just a simple sort of multi-tool with having all the Allen key options just in case your bow or something like that stuffs up, and then you can just do some modifications and tighten anything that's come loose or fix anything that you have to. Lip balm, nothing worse than having chapped lips when you're out in the bush. Seems a bit special, I guess, and a bit sensitive and delicate, but it can be quite a pain in the ass, especially if the wind picks up or if you're hunting in 40-degree heat where you can be in the Northern Territory or northern part of Australia. And last but not least, I just carry a steri pen just because I don't know how many times I've been out in the bush and run out of water, and it does make it easy just in the back of your mind knowing that you can filter some water if you need to and just keep going and hunting all day. So it's light bit of kit, obviously carry it and use it on backpack hunts, but I just carry it in my day pack as well in case I do need to top up and get a bit of extra water because I've drank through mine already.
Next we'll jump into this zipper here. So this is where I like to just keep things like snacks such as Atlas wild bars. We've got hydration and supplements, things to add in for when we're sweating. We're going to be climbing up and down the mountains plenty during the Rut and Roar, chasing those croaks and roars. So anything to make sure that we're obviously getting the sustenance that we need as well as recovery and things like that. That then takes me into what we're going to be mixing it in. Obviously going to be full of water. That's where that steri pen. I like a Nalgene that's about 1 litre in size and then has the wide top so that when you're collecting it from streams or like putting it under a waterfall or something like that, it fills in through the gap quite easily. You can obviously then use that to chuck the steri pen in, filter your water, and have plenty of drinking availabilities there. Personally, I love packs that have these hoods on top, so you can flick it open or back and then access the main compartment. By being able to scrunch these up, you're also ensuring that it's nice and waterproof. I run with a 3 litre Camelback, making sure that I've got plenty of water. 3 litres nearly isn't enough if you're out in the bush all day, which is where I find having that and the ability to get water out in the field, as well as packing another extra litre, is really vital. As we dive into the pack, one thing depending on how you're going to hunt and your hunting strategies, something like a spotting scope can be really important for covering all those nooks and crannies on the hill face, especially during the Rut if the noise and action hasn't quite started yet. You can really pick apart the mountain in the early mornings, throughout the middle of the day and even into the evenings, leaving less of a footprint on the mountain. You're not necessarily spreading scent and things like that. And then you're picking apart, looking for those does and hinds for when the bucks and stags obviously go and join them. And as I said earlier, if we turn to this side, we've just got that tripod compartment there. So it's nice and sturdy. You can strap it in, you can add it to this little pocket here as well. And that obviously just slides in and gives you access to better inspection of the mountain.
Having a lightweight tripod is, I think, super important, and actually investing in a good one. Like, there's no point in having really good glass and then mounting it on sort of a crappy second-grade tripod because it's going to shake and it's not going to stand up in the wind. So if you're investing in good glass, make sure you invest in a good tripod as well. Here in southeast Queensland, where most people are going to be chasing reds for the Roar, it is pretty open country in a lot of places around here. So I recommend and I run a spotting scope. This is a 20 to 60 mil Leopold, really nice piece of glass for the price. And it just helps you save your legs essentially. Like, you can cover so much country just from one vantage point or a central vantage point, and not have to be leaving center of the mountain. And then you can really, especially if you're looking for that sort of that best red in the valley, or the best animal you can find, you can really pinpoint that from one central spot and go after him, rather than sort of chasing roars everywhere and tiring yourself out and educating animals. So yeah, a good spotting scope is definitely going to save your legs and get you more opportunities on those mature deer during the rut. So now just some creature comfort. So this is just a Numa rain jacket. So a pretty essential bit of kit that we just have in our backpack. It's nice and lightweight, but it does help keep you on the mountain for longer. So there's nothing worse, especially here in southeast Queensland, when it's just absolutely belting down rain and you're getting drenched, and then often it cools off and most people go back to camp. Whereas after it stops raining, or even during when it's lightly raining, can be some of the best hunting, because obviously the animals want to get up and start moving around. So if you're back in camp, you're not going to get those opportunities. Whereas just having a really nice light rain jacket that's going to keep you warm, keep you dry, and keep you out of the elements is going to go a long way to getting more opportunities when you're on the mountain. And so it's just something that I like to keep in my pack.
I'll add that to that also, and just having a range of dry bags and things, so if it is absolutely getting terribly wet, you can just chuck something like valuable like your Bino harness, take it off, get under a tree, wait for that 20 minutes for the rain to pass, but chuck all your valuables, including binoculars, camera gear, in dry bags, and just have everything safe and sound.
So the next thing, if you're going to be chasing fallow deer, a nice rattle bag, one that sounds really realistic, has that deeper tones, I guess. So we like the Smash Call from Phelps. Like I said, it just sounds more realistic. Like a lot of those other ones I find are quite tinny, I guess. And so we've had really good success with that. It's nice and lightweight. I like it better than antlers, because you can just easily put it in your pocket or even in your Bino harness or something like that, and get a similar result. It projects really well in the valley. And yeah, just generally sounds awesome. So really, really another essential bit of kit.
So it's obviously important to always take things such as baby wipes. This is one of those bits of kit that we sort of like, just for one, keeping yourself nice and clean and hygienic, as well as little creature comfort while out in the bush.
You gotta treat yourself.
Second, we always try and take a can of Bushman's or something like that, some sort of insect spray, especially if you're hunting up north in the Northern Territory where you've got midges, sandflies and mosquitoes. But even down here in sort of New South Wales, Hunter Valley or the Brisbane Valley, chasing reds and fallow deer, it's just one of those little things. It's lightweight and easy to just store in the pack as well. One of the things that we have towards the bottom end of the pack, because it's obviously something that we're going to be reaching for last if we are in fact successful, but these Igali meat bags are a game changer. This one is the Game Bags kit, and it comes with some large, medium bags as well. These just allow for your meat to be taken care of, which is absolutely essential for us, because that's the goal at the end of the day, is to feed friends and family and secure that precious cargo. So I'll go ahead and open these up. As you can see, there's a range of bags in here. Do you mind holding those? Thank you. So that would be a fairly good sized bag that you could easily fit like a hind quarter of most deer here in Australia, as well as like neck meat, back straps, all that type of stuff. What these have got, they've got like a good outer carroting where you're not going to get, if you do hang it in a tree or something like that overnight, flies aren't going to be able to get through and lay eggs through that, as well as it's going to be nice and breathable and porous, where you obviously cooling down that meat, letting it air dry after you've taken it and hung it in a tree. You've also got this little cord here, which keeps it nice and secure as well. Make sure, nothing's gonna get in there.
The best thing I like about these bags compared to when we used to typically run pillowcases is first, you don't get like the fluff material that you get with pillowcases sometimes, which sort of ruins the quality of the meat. And the second thing is with that cord, you can actually use it to hang your game from the tree, so any of that excess liquid can drip out. But then also they're fantastic in the sense you just chuck them in the wash, don't tell your partners, and wash them at home and then just dry them and then chuck them back in your backpack in a bag and they're ready to go. So awesome bit of kit. So the last thing that we've got is a fairly generic first aid kit, and I should have a lot more things in this, in the sense I should be running a tourniquet. Normally I keep pretty just basic in the sense of band-aids for if you cut yourself and that type of thing. One of the things I really always make sure I have in here is actually just like a little set of tweezers, and that's because often, as you can imagine with bow hunting, you're taking your shoes off in that last 50 meters or so, and quite commonly you get splinters in your feet, and there's nothing worse when you're doing like a multi-day trip, then you've just got that one splinter that's just like digging into the base of your foot. So having just a pair of normal tweezers, steal them from your girlfriend, and chuck them in here, because it does just save you being sort of painful for a couple of days on the mountain, and nothing worse than getting like a infected splinter or something like that in your foot.
I'll add to that just the essential of always having something like a snake bandage. It sounds novel, but if you are one of those unlucky people that do get bitten, just being able to apply that nice and fast is going to give you, up to 6 hours of time to get out of the bush. And that sort of leads us into some of the stuff that we have on us on our Bino harnesses, just on the day-to-day. So this is probably one of the biggest and best bits of kit, especially if you're doing that run and gun style of hunting throughout the rut. And just leading on from safety, we've got a Garmin InReach here. This is our EPIRB device. It's going to get us not necessarily out of trouble. It's not a massive, impressive like beacon to obviously just teleport you out of the bush, but being able to communicate with friends and family, the emergency services, and let people know where you are at all times is super important. We've got that strapped on there. If it is going to that final part of the stalk, we always try and have it on us, because if it's on the backpack and we ditch the backpack, it's not as important. And it's not going to get us out of trouble, especially when you're hunting in places like New Zealand, the Northern Territory, where you are quite remote or in pretty sketchy sort of country. We're running the Leopold optics at the moment. I've got the 10x52s here. Awesome bit of glass, and again, similar when you're pairing it with the spotting scope, it's going to give that extra range in the hills. There's nothing more important, in my opinion, as to boots and binoculars when hunting. Boots, obviously, be comfortable, get you out and about in the mountains, and then binoculars to just make sure that you're covering every parcel of land, every square inch of that hillside in front of you. And again, just making sure that you're an active hunter that's looking around, scanning the countryside, picking up on all the little details that you need to be observant of when you're out there hunting.
And for me, there's no other glass. Like for me, 10x50s or 10x52s is like that ultimate for when you're in the mountains. You're just that tiny bit more field of view. You just seem to see more animals. Like I don't know why, it's just that, for some reason it's always when they're on the periphery, and you can just fit so much more of the mountain in your binos, and you can see so many more critters. So I personally love the 10x50s when I'm on the mountain. So when it comes to knives, there are two options. So the age-old debate whether you have a fixed blade or interchangeable blade. So the Havalon knives, in this case, the Spiker brand. So being able to just change the scalpel component of the knife is super handy, and especially for someone like me where you're constantly going and shooting multiple game, and you don't want to carry like a knife roll or something like that. Having it where you can just change the blade and always have a sharp knife, especially if you're one of these people that forget to sharpen your knives, which I've been typically. So I have always sort of run that interchangeable blade with great success. The only downfalls of these, I guess, is if you are boning out bigger animals and stuff like that and you're getting into joints, these scalpel blades obviously can snap and crack quite easily, but for the price of them and the functionality of just always having a sharp blade, awesome bit of kit. Next one is a fixed blade knife. So this is the Agali knife, really nice balanced knife, fits well in your hand. And I've tended to, maybe in my maturity and having a bit more admiration for sharpening knives, started running this and really enjoying it. You can see it's got a few chips in it there from the weekend, but you can get into joints. I'm not worried about breaking this knife. Holds a really good edge. Obviously the shape of it, you can use it for both skinning and boning. I find it just, fits nice in my hand. I don't really like a big blade on my knife, but awesome bit of kit, and really enjoying this nice little knife. So either one of these are going to be a great option for having in your pack. It just depends on your preference, and if you want to be sharpening your knives or if you want to be able to change out the fixed blade.
And then lastly, just having the added benefits of things like little compartments on your Bino harness as well, and always on you. This has got the little neck strap and things. I try not to keep too much around my neck just because it can get a little bit frustrating, and if you've got a bow and you're drawing it back, the less stuff around here and the more compact, just the better, I've found. But something like this little easy sucker from Phelps is a sort of doe estrus bleat. Again, the rut and raw coming up being very vocal time of year. Little things like this, or a diaphragm call if you've got that and can sneak it in your Bino harness here. Just having all these things on call, especially if you're walking in the last moments of a stalk and you think, I've got to try and pull an animal up that's moving quite quick through the bush. Being able to let out a little vocalization can sometimes help.
Well, there you have it, team, from us here at Twin Elements. That is what you'll find in our day pack. Make sure you come into the shop and meet the team and actually fit out a backpack. Like, they've got such a huge variety and range here of all this gear, but especially packs. Like, it's almost like you are picking a partner. Like, certain packs will fit you. So come in, feel the packs on, feel the kit, feel all the gear, see what you like, what your preference is. You've obviously seen ours here today, but yeah, they've got an incredible range here, so come in store and check it out.